I'm Subhashni, and I'm here to talk about scaling up of hiring using technology, data, and insights. Yes, hiring is the one function which ensures that business can run smoothly. And in this era, it becomes very important to be able to use, right technology and then the data generated to create the insights which can help you create a great hiring process. Of course, the two big pillars of hiring is the turnaround time and the quality of hire, which is measured by the fitment to the roles. When we look at junior hiring, the ask is a bit different. The volumes are high, transactional responsibilities are very high, and there is a short learning curve. So a medium fitment will do. Business cannot function on a transactional level without the junior employees. So high speed is very important in hiring. These employees hardly have any team management responsibility or strategy and planning responsibilities. And in this cohort, we find higher attrition. It is easier to get the employees also and easier to lose the employees also. Cultural fit is a very small component of all of this. When you look at senior hiring, the game changes. The volumes are generally low. Team management and strategic responsibilities are higher. There is a longer learning curve, so culture fitment matters a lot and experience matters a lot. Since fitment becomes a core requirement, hence the organization is ready to settle for longer turnaround time of hiring. And employees in this range do have higher team management strategy and planning responsibilities. They also end up spending longer tenure in the organization. The deal breaker, or if they join and they leave in a hurry, it's only because if there's a cultural mismatch. So culture becomes really important. So what we understand is that hiring is not plain vanilla. There is a balance between the right fitment and the turnaround time. And we've got to get this balance right, 90% of the time at least. And this is what we claim we will help you do with Pexitix. When we look at fitment, there are multiple things to look at. There's cognition skills, behavior skills, people skills, domain skills. And all of these play a huge responsibility. Thus, to summarize, junior positions, the emphasis is on hiring fast with a medium fit. In senior positions, the emphasis should be on hiring right fit, even if the hiring TAT is a bit longer and you end up hiring just in time. So how does Pexitix help? I have also already mentioned to you that we have our own talent assessment and surveys platform called Pexi Test. So the first thing we always suggest when we are planning the digital journey is remove the CV screening as the first step. Do accept the CV, but do not try to screen the CV because it is quite misleading in today's world. So what is the solution to that? We should ask for a self-declaration on the important points. The important points would be experience, perhaps, the skills, and the educational qualifications. Much better to ask for a self-declaration from the candidate. Once the self-declaration is done, it is best to look at predictability of joining rates, which is understood by a basic psychometric profiling, which tells you that is this person looking at fulfilling his role, responsibilities, and goals in the job that you are considering him or her for. Then look at checking the competencies. And when we look at junior hiring, the competencies are often related to skills. And when you look at middle and senior hiring, you're looking at competency levels as well as leadership competencies. So look at this and do it through a digital interfacing, which will be short real-time tests. You can, of course, use pexitest.com, and there are multiple other tests also out in the market. You will notice that this is the process which even the big four follow. I have recently, done this by going on to the Ernst& Young site and looking out at how we can apply. And this is pretty much a similar process. They use a company called Pymetrics to run these short real-time tests. So when we say PEXI test, we are saying that we will help you across the hiring funnel, and we will help you achieve your goals in TAT and fitment as is required for different levels of hiring. So what is the process? Definitely a CV upload, a self-declaration of skills, and the expected CTC, because these are important for taking any discussion forward. And then look at a basic profiling. This whole process should not take more than 5 to 10 minutes, and it should give you these answers. Does the candidate need a job now? Will he prioritize his roles and responsibilities and goals? Does he feel confident he has the necessary skills for the job? If the answer is yes, then you should proceed to the second step. So for juniors, what really matters is the skill fitment. And here the candidate therefore becomes okay to spend 20 to 30 minutes because he already gets an understanding that he has passed the first level of screening. So he is ready to involve and spend greater time on this process. Here you get the answer. Does he match the skills required for the job? If it's middle or senior level, what you look at is the competency and leadership fitment. These are slightly longer tests, 30 to 40 minutes. But again, because the candidate knows that he has been shortlisted through the first step, he gets ready to undertake these slightly longer assessments. And the answer is you get is, um, does he match the managerial capability, attitude, behaviors required for the job? Yes or no? So at this level, if yes, then you are ready to take on the candidate to the interview. Okay. You will notice that each of these steps, the candidate gets a clear feedback. Even if he or she does not make it to the next step, you get a clear feedback saying, thank you for participating. This leaves a very positive brand image in the eyes of the candidate. Yes, using PEXI test can automate the movement from step 1 to step 2 for both levels, junior and senior hiring. Using PEXI test, we can help you automate the fitment percentage. So when the candidate comes for step 1, if he meets the fitment percentage, automatically he is in the same flow taken to step 2. And if you do not wish to avail the automated process, you want to move through a manual process, that's great too, because we provided peer benchmarks in each of the reports. Once you've screened the reports, once you've screened the fitment through the resume, you can just trigger an email and WhatsApp from the dashboard of PEXI test itself. So therefore, PEXI test actually works out to be better than a traditional ATS. Um, So, how is this a win-win for each of the participants of the hiring process? For the job applicant, they can undertake the process at their own time. This is a big win. They don't like being disturbed in the middle of their workday in their offices. It is digital, hence there are no geographic boundaries. You can get a good candidate and then take a call how to take the relationship forward. And the candidate gets a feedback at every level. Even if the candidate does not qualify, they get a feedback. For the organization, it's a win-win because it reduces decision time. Today the maximum amount of time which is spent is at the screening of the resume and coordinating for the first level of fitment. And the resources that the organization often puts in this two processes are the junior most resources, the interns. Are they even qualified to understand if somebody meets the resume requirement and the job requirement? Often not. So the second thing that this automated process does is it gives you high accuracy of fitment decisions. The dashboard ensures that you get an unbiased view to all the applicants, and you can just rank them by sorting. And digitally, you end up spending much less time coordinating. So if I have was to summarize this and say what is the secret sauce that we provide, it is these two things: scores and algorithms for intelligence amplification, which is assisting the human resource or the people manager without taking away the decision power. The power shall always rest with the organization and the hiring team. If you have multiple vendors and multiple sourcing strategies, you don't need to coordinate too much, because all of the people will come into the same dashboard, follow the same process, and you can take an unbiased decision and then go back and see who is the source of this person coming into your pipeline. If you find this interesting, or if you want a discussion on some of the components, do reach out to us. We'll be very happy to discuss. We are betting on, using data, technology, and insights to transform human resources and people management functions. And I think the market is ripe with how all of us are now more comfortable with digitized decision making. We have also written a book in this space, and we hope that you will reach out to us for a discussion.